Hello, this is Zeke777, and welcome back to Ars Nouveau, Arcane Isles edition. So we have not a whole lot done since last time. Planted a couple more of these trees. We do have a brand new island over here, which is the Flourishing Island, if you couldn't tell by all the flourishing trees. This island here is interesting because it is a mangrove swamp. It also is covered in moss, which is useful for a couple things. There's 5, 6, 7, 8. I wanted to grab 8 of these. I'm actually going to grab a 9th anyway, because one interesting thing with the moss block is we can actually use it to create some grass blocks, which means we can get those before we're able to get silk touch. So that's a useful thing to have. Also means it's dirt, which is helpful too. I'm going to put these here for now because I don't have actually a use for them yet. I just wanted to point that out. What I want to do today is we want to go to the nether. So we're going to start off by doing what you should always do, create an arrow. Yeah, normally I don't bother crafting one of those. Unfortunately, we don't have any hostile mobs spawning yet, which is, a good thing for skyblock. We would like to get the projectile glyph, which needs a fletching table and arrow. So there's the arrow, thank you. And fletching table, I believe, is just a couple of these and some of these. So it's like a crafting table with 2 flint on top. Yeah, fletching table. Cool, toss that on, and that will get us the glyph of projectile. I've been going through and I've unlocked a couple more, namely I have harm now, and we now have projectile, which gets us underfoot and bounce, which is helpful because now we have additional things. So let's learn all these, and we can make ourselves a spell. If we're going to be going to the nether, we would like some way to protect ourselves. So in slot 2 here, I'm going to use, in fact, no, I'm going to use slot 3 for this and swap those around. So we're going to go projectile, harm. Cool, we're going to name you harm, because it's clever. Number 2 here, I'm going to switch this one over to being projectile light as well. Light, thank you. Just because that is useful to have. And the last thing that we probably would like to have is we would like to be able to do a little bit more damage. So we're going to make ourselves 2 diamond pickaxes, because that totally makes sense for what I just said. Yes, we want to go over here. We need a amplify glyph, which is just a diamond pickaxe, which is why we made that. Toss you on. I also wanted one for myself anyway, so we can go ahead and pick this up. Thank you, glyph of amplify. Sweet. And now we can go back to our light spell for one. We'll amplify that one. That's good. And our harm spell, we can amplify that one twice. So now we have a way to attack things, but we need a little bit of defense. Namely, we don't have any armor on us right now, which is not ideal for going to the nether. So let's see what we can do about that. What we're going to want is some mage gear. Now, we can do a couple different ones. I think I'll eventually be going with the gold, with the sorcerer stuff. However, kind of leaning towards making a set of the mid-tier, the arcanist armor here. I think they'll both count as gold for piglins, but they'll give us a little bit more defense. Now, once we can get things enchanted, we can get some protection, then sorcerer will be, I think, what I'll go with in the long term. But for right now, let's just go ahead and make a quick set of iron gear, hat, and some boots. And we have just 10 iron ingots left, which is not ideal, but we'll get to addressing that later. The next thing we need is an enchanting apparatus, which we also have a quest for, I believe, up here. Somewhere. Enchanting apparatus, yes. Need an arcane core and an apparatus and some arcane pedestals. So let's go ahead and gather the materials for these. Pretty simple, pretty cheap. Do I have it on me? No, I don't. Grab some source stone. Need some gold and some diamonds. And we should need a nugget. Cool. Thank you. Apparatus. Check. And a core. Arcane core. We need a source gem, which I should have a few. That works. Arcane core. And there we go. Now, I'm going to put this over here on our blazing island. Arcane apparatus here, the enchanting apparatus, is pretty simple. Core goes down, apparatus goes on top, and pedestals around it. And I ran out of pedestals. In fact, we actually have a new thing now, which is the arcane platform. So these are just made from the pedestal itself. You can swap between them pretty easily. It just makes a little bit smaller platform so you can see what's going on and just kind of more out of the way. So what we need here is we need more source gems. Let's go ahead and grab a couple more of these. We're going to need at least 4. I think is all I have for those, and a seed. 1 seed, thank you. So this is for making some mage bloom. What we want is, we want to upgrade our armor, and in order to do that, we need some fancy magic fiber. So let's go ahead and get this crafted up and planted. So I have a little bit of, where are you? Right here, bone meal. 20 bone meal should be enough to get at least started. I've got too much junk in my inventory here. You can go here. Don't need that yet. And you can go there too. Okay. So let's go ahead and plop you right here. That'll work. And I'm just going to spend all my bone meal on this. I'm not entirely sure how many I need. I think I only actually need 4 of them. Let's grab the rest of this as well. And turn this into some fiber. Do I need any of these for any other purpose? You know, I can grow more. Alright, so let's go make ourselves some fancy armor. Thank you. And let's just go through and make each of these. Now for the initial level to turn it into the mage armor, it does not require any source jar here, but in order to upgrade these to higher tiers later on, we will have to. So let's go ahead, mage bloom in, and some leggings, perfect. And I saw I got an achievement here, mage bloom, cool, we can get some beds, we'll get that later I guess. Warp scroll, alteration table, relay, okay. Just want to check, make sure there's nothing too important here. I don't think so. Let's see, were there any other quests? No, okay. So I'm not too worried about the quest rewards at the moment. But let's just get our armor made up. There you go. And we can go ahead and throw this on. And looking fancy. Okay, so one last but very important step here is we need to change the color of our armor. Purple's nice and all, but I do want to point out that you can, of course, dye this. So I'm just going to go with white for now. I might go with like a green or lime later. However, we don't have cactus yet. So for now, I look like I'm wearing a lab coat. So that works. Light our portal, and let's see where we end up. Okay, just stepped out of the portal, cut away there for a second so we can not have to wait on the loading screen. Yeah. Okay. So we do have the biomes you'll go. That's part of this pack. And someone said that there is a fortress pretty close to everyone. I guess we'll kind of see where. We've got some soul sand, which I don't need yet. There's a skeleton down there. Shield can go in our offhand, and let's go exploring. Back in the overworld here, because exploring is fun, let's go ahead and grab a new spell here, some Conjure Mage Block. Didn't count how many I tossed. 1, 2, 3. This will give us, this will be helpful for a couple reasons. One is, do we have a quest for that? No, we don't. Okay. It'll be helpful because then I can use that for some scaffolding to get up and grab some glowstone, or quartz in this case. Touch, mage block, mage block. Cool. Alright, so this will be, like I said, it'll be good for basically just scaffolding. We can use this for wherever, climbing up, and we don't have to worry about bringing blocks with us, so very helpful. Well, taking a look at our map here, we've got a little bit of room. It looks like there is a bastion down here, a fairly sizable fortress there, another fortress up here, another fortress over there. So looks like we're kind of in the middle of nowhere though. I think I'm going to go for this one up here just because if I look at the world map in the overworld, I don't think there's as many people over there. So this should hopefully have a few things in... oh right, I still don't have a break spell. That's another thing to remember. There should at least be hopefully a few open chests or chests that are available. So we'll see. Might find something useful in those in the Nether Fortress. But for now, I'm going to grab a little bit of gold, because gold is always useful, and the quartz is going to be important for upgrading our book. Alrighty, well, we have managed to make our way over here. I hear a blaze somewhere around there, and I see one right over here. So let's try to not die. Thank you. And any luck? Any luck? No luck. No blaze rod. Alright, well, I'm going to hunt around here and see what I can find, and I'll come back if I see something interesting. There might be a blaze rod under here, though, so let's check real quick. Okay, that means you're down here. Oh, or not. Oh, spawn right there. Okay, good to know. Let's move away from that so we don't get any extra funds here. Okay. Alright, well I don't have the mana to really sustain a proper fight here with a spell, but we can always do this the old-fashioned way with a sword and shield. So we got 2, that's good. I can't remember how many we need, but it's sort of one of those things where the more you have, the better. Four. Let's see what we can do better. Well, despite the death, we did end up getting enough to get our mage's spellbook. Tier 2 we have now unlocked, and I wasn't able to do much recording, so I didn't do anything too interesting. I did unlock a few things here, namely Fell and Break are the 2 important ones. AoE honestly isn't that useful in this pack, but I figure it's just a gunpowder and a die, which is, pretty much free at this point. Access and inventory we got for unlocking, I think, AoE. Break and Fell, of course, are the ones I just mentioned. Those are going to be the most useful to us. Animate Block we also got as a quest reward, and Resize was quest reward from getting the book itself. Other than that, not a whole lot has gone on. I think I made an extra island here and then leveled it out. But we have a few extra things over here as well I wanted to mention, and that is we have flax. So flax is just seeds plus manipulation essence gets you that, and flax can be turned into string. So it's another way to get string besides going through the vexing island and taking out the cobwebs. And then I also was doing a little bit AFK. There's no lights over here. And the reason for that is I wanted to have some hostile mobs spawning. So that gives us things such as bones, some wilden horns. I stole some from Zacharias, as well as some wings. Stole those from Zacharias as well. And then carrots and potatoes are extra things as well that were useful. So just kind of catching you up a little bit there. So let's continue. One of the reasons why I unlocked Break first is for this very simple setup here. This is just a regular basic turret casting touch, break, pickup, and I have a waterlogged leaf with a torch underneath where the cobblestone will form. Basically the lava flows, touches the waterlogged leaf, which I wanted to use the leaf here because it doesn't flow then. So I don't need to worry about the torch ever getting washed out by the water, and it just kind of works continuously. I just have a couple source jars here. Not doing anything too fancy, but it is getting us lots of cobblestone. One good thing with that then is we can use this for building, we can use this for crushing. Basically we can use it for whatever, and I'm just going to have it just kind of continuously do this. At some point I'll have some actual controls on here, like a comparator or something, to turn off the turret. But at the moment, just kind of giving it 2 jars seems to be sufficient. I think it gets me about a chest worth or so. Hard to tell because I keep pulling stuff out. But anyway, that's a very quick early game setup here. You can also replace this with just about anything. We could even take our thing here. If I do touch, crush, 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 and pick up. There we go. We could also just as easily switch to this. That's not doing anything. Not sure why that's not doing anything. Odd. Oh, it was. It just didn't get as much. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Yes, this does work. There we go. So you can also do this, and we'll probably do something very similar to that later once I have a bit more source set up, because this does use more power. And I'll turn you back. Alright, well, we have a few more friends over here, and I actually want to use that. We're going to get this guy here to follow us. And you, my friend... Ha! Get jarred. Cool. You, however, I don't need. I already have a couple of you, and I don't need you either. You can go down there if you'd like. I should probably light that up. I've got quite a few now that are all captured here. I've got some wild stalkers and hunters. I think I've got a zombie in here, but honestly I don't really care about that one. Enderman we just got. Really the rest of these I don't need except maybe slime. And also it's worth noting out, the reason I'm getting slime here is this is a swamp. So at night you can get, ooh, there's a witch over there. I do want to have the witch. You can get slimes on swamps. So that is useful if you want to get that. I'll probably have my main hostile mob farm be from over there. You can go away. Thank you. Ooh, extra wing. I'll probably have my main hostile mob be on a swamp island here. It's kind of the general idea is you can do that. It's pretty useful to get slime. We got 12 slime balls, not too much right now, but very useful thing to have when you're starting off. One last thing I want to kind of catch up on is these runes here. I've used runes like this before as smelting, but in this pack you can do something even better, and that is crushing. So let me put these here so we can kind of demonstrate what's going on. I have a spell parchment of touch, crush, sensitive, AoE 7. So crush sensitive is that it can crush items. This will be applied to these runes here, because then what I can do with the AoE 7, because I don't have pierce yet, is I can throw a stack of cobblestone in at once, and it will do the entire stack. I can then do the gravel, and of course the sand to get the clay and redstone. Really, really handy. Lots of materials from this. Oh, went too fast there. Put that on there. This will be using the source, which I have. This is just using blazing archwood. Very, very handy. This also only takes 1% of a jar each time. So yeah, we can use the crushing over on the turret there, but this is only using 1% of a jar each time for a stack. So 100 source for an entire stack at once. It's quite a bit more effective. I don't actually need that much redstone or clay, so I'm going to leave this as sand. But yeah, just that quick, we went through 4 stacks of cobblestone. You can imagine doing that over here would have taken 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this is tedious. This is the way of the past. We are basically not going to be using this thing pretty much ever again. There is one thing we can do later with that. We can make this create deep slate for us. I'm going to do that somewhere else, though not right here on this island. Let's go ahead and throw the rest of this in here, and you guys can go in here. So we've got lots of copper now, 10 diamonds, not too bad. Iron and gold, we're looking pretty good on those as well. Let me turn the rest of these into ingots. And all that to say, I didn't feel like grinding for materials on camera. So now that we actually have some things we can work with here, namely gold, we can start making some automation, some proper automation. This thing here I consider semi-automatic. I have to keep recharging it. It's too manual for me, even as this, which, yes, very handy. It's still too manual. So to start on that, I'm going to make a couple starbunkles here. The cutest hopper, yay. Is there a quest for these guys? There should be. There's not. Got a warp scroll from Zacharias. I don't need any ghost weave, that's fine. How is there not... Bailey? You need to have some quests for these. Anyway, let's get a couple more, and we can start doing some real progress. Let's let that go. Over here on our Vexing Island, I have a few source berries that are planted. So right now they don't do a whole lot, they just kind of sit there. We're going to grab you. Let's do the jar first. That jar is 100% as well. Do I have any empty jars? I don't think I do. No? Okay. Well, we'll grab the mycelial source link and a pedestal. How do I never have any pedestals? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I love this quark recipe here because previously we wouldn't be able to actually get regular chests for this, but this will work. And I believe I have 2 chests over here. I might already have placed them. Nope, guess not. Okay, so over here with these berries, we are going to set up a very simple but very effective source solution. So basically, we did some testing, and it turns out that mycelial source links, well, any source link actually, can pull from 4 pedestals at the same time. I don't know if this is intended or not, but it's what happens, so that's what we're going to abuse. And so the way we're going to do it is we're going to place these like so, and we're going to grab our hoppers, and I want you to be aimed at that. There we go, and there, and there. So what will happen is it will start filling up the bottom hoppers first, and then once those are backlogged, then these can start taking. Basically, I don't have any berries on me, and we can fix that. The way that hoppers work is they will pull before they're able to push, which means if you have a stack of hoppers, even if they're not aimed down, the items are going to go down first. So if I put, let's grab a couple of you. Thank you. If I put one of these in here, just one, it'll go into the bottom pedestal and then get consumed by the source link. So what we're going to do is by using it like this, you were supposed to connect. Thank you. I love having my break spell back. What we can do is we can put source berries in here, and it will start by filling up the bottom two pedestals. Once the two bottom hoppers are filled, it'll start doing its top two, and basically be able to eat 4 times as fast. And next up we have our adorable hoppers, but we need some way to actually tell them what to do. So for that, we're going to grab this and make ourselves a Dominion wand, which we can then use to tell our starbunkles what to do. Namely in this case, go harvest berries for me. Thank you. Let's go ahead and I can grab these guys. This was basically a temporary setup because I don't have a way of automatically farming trees yet. I can set up like a fell spell, but I don't have the grow spell, and I'm not going to have the grow spell for a while. But this will at least let me, get source running automatically. So we'll break these out, and we can put those right there. 5%, not too bad. Okay, so next up, let's grab our starbuncle, and I'm just going to go with 1 for now. And you, my friend, shall put things in that chest. Go. Cool. So just like that, he's going to automatically pick all the berries that he can find and start loading them up. At the moment, like I said, it's just going to be filling up the bottom pedestals until we have a backlog, which will be a little bit because this is currently empty. It'll eat it pretty quickly, but once these are full, in fact, I'm going to grab this one so it'll just fill up that jar and allow us to get a little bit of backlog here. Something I have been planning on doing for quite some time actually is expanding this middle island. So it's nice and adorably small here. It's the starter island, of course. It's too small. I want to be able to build, and so in order to do that, we're going to have to expand quite a bit. Can I not jump up there? Okay. My plan is to use a plains ritual here, Tablet of Conjure Island Plains, and this is unique instead of, so these Archwood Islands, they're basically a schematic file, is what they are. So it's always going to be the exact same. I think they don't even have any rotation on them, so it's basically going to be exactly what it was, just copy-paste each time. However, with the Tablet of Conjure Island Plains, and there's a couple others that are similar to this one, you can actually expand them by tossing in a whole bunch of source gems to make it a wider thing. So in this case, it's just basically a grass platform that is 5 blocks deep, kind of like the rest of them here. And I plan on expanding it to a radius of 32, which is actually going to be overlapping quite a bit. It's going to reach all the way to over here. So basically, it's going to be all land all around here. And what I'm trying to figure out is how I want to do that efficiently. For instance, this moss, it would just stay here, which is useful, I guess. But also I'd like to be able to get more dirt out of everything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some kind of trimming down of these islands so I can get the extra dirt from it. I'm not sure if it's actually going to turn this into plains instead of mangrove swamp. I don't remember, actually, if it'll overwrite. But we'll find out. In the meantime, though, I want to trim some of this so I can get extra dirt because, well, dirt's kind of a pain to make. And now for a moment of kind of pain here. This here is the Tablet of Mana Regeneration. It also represents the center of the island and the center of my domain here. We are at 66 and negative 999 because we are roughly 1,000 there from the spawn over there. So the problem is this Tablet of Mana Regeneration we got from a quest. So I need to make sure that I can make another of these. It needs an Abjuration Essence, which needs sugar, milk, and fermented spider eye, which is just basically sugar and a spider eye. I think there was something else in there. Brown mushroom, yes. Well, we have plenty of brown mushrooms. We have plenty of sugar, or we did until I chopped everything down. I've got an Abjuration Essence being crafted here, so I'm going to just trust that it'll survive, and we'll be able to do that, and I'll be able to make another, because right now our mana regeneration, it's getting better. As we're learning more glyphs, it is getting better, but it is still a little painfully slow. So, all that being said, well, it's time to break this. So, tablet of mana regeneration, it's been nice knowing you. Break you, place you, and we want one of these. I made 2 of these for a reason, and that is because I do plan on expanding basically 2 of these islands. I want it to go, like I said, it's only 5 blocks deep. I would like it to go down 10 blocks. It's going to be a rather large island. So I'm going to do a second island directly underneath it after I expand this one, because I don't know if I have enough source for this. So we need 25 source gems. It'll take a little bit. Toss all of you on. This starts with a base of, I believe it's 7 block radius. So plus 25 gets us a 32 block radius. So I guess we just kind of start. You know, I'm going to move you to up here. I don't know how many jars it's going to take. It will take quite a few. So, let's get started. At the moment, it's... Yeah, so here it goes. Basically, it'll expand in kind of a diamond shape like this. Ooh, let's break some of these. Let's add our pickup back to that. Where did you go? Pickup. Thank you. Forgot to get rid of all the rest of these. So basically, it's not going to replace any blocks that already exist, but it will. Oh, here we go. Definitely want to get rid of these. So since it won't replace them, it's basically I need to replace this with dirt myself, which is a little annoying, but it'll be fine. We'll have plenty of dirt now. I think I got like 3 or 4 stacks, so it should be okay. Can't reach those. And let's get them over here as well. Oh, broke a crop there, accidentally right-clicked. So basically, I'm not going to need really a bridge anymore. So I don't need these archwood planks. I'll be able to expand this into an actual proper island when we're done here. And I can build some proper paths and perhaps even a building here in the middle. But this is going to take a little while, so we'll be back in a moment. And for those wondering the cost here, it is 10 source per block that it's placing. So a jar is 10,000 source, so you get, 1,000 blocks per jar. So we are down 3 jars at this point. 1, 2, 3 are now empty. It's working on the 4th one here. It's got a little bit to go. Okay, I was curious about this. It is expanding the plains biome over these. Okay, so that's good to know. So if you do want this to remain whatever biome it was, in this case Archwood Forest from the Blazing Island, you'll need to probably do another one of these, I would think. And that's fine. These are only 1 jar each, and pretty simple to make. The archwood biomes here, so I'm not too concerned about that, but we are getting lots of space, which means we can finally start expanding, doing some automation, and even some building. But I think we're going to call this for an episode now that we're expanding this island. Finally got our source up and running. That over there is producing quite a bit. I'm waiting for it to kind of backlog at the moment, but we're getting lots of berries, so that's fully automatic over there. I just don't have any source routing yet, but we'll get to that one in the next episode. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.